sign some nerves. Waste of time you make all this to my heart. Oh, oh. I brag about you, you're alluring. You look around me constantly. I spring the magic, I feel your lavish breeze. Savory like hot chips with cheese. Oh, oh.
The Sleuth, and you're listening to The Show, WRFU LP Urbana 104.5 FM.
Listening to The Show.
Good evening, folks. It's WRFU LP Urbana 104.5 FM, broadcasting live right now from Studio I. All kinds of technical difficulties we're overcoming to broadcast live for you right now, so appreciate you paying attention to us and give us your time and your ear. As always, want to give you the legal disclaimer: WRFU is an open forum for the Champaign Abandoned community. Views expressed by the speakers and I intend to represent WRFU, CNC, about for Ishifers, UPT, University of Rush University, UPMC Hospital, Children's Hospital, Pittsburgh, or anyone else. These thoughts and these words are ours and ours alone. I gotta give you the legal disclaimer because I talk a lot of jazz, a lot of jazzmatazz that I put out there for folks to consume in all forms and fashions. Got some special guests on the deck with me today. To my right and the left on the screen. Tell them who you are. Tell them where you're coming from.
Hey, I'm Simone. I am in Pittsburgh right now, but I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Here we have...
I'm Dan Sully, and I'm from Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, and I'm a music producer.
Big up to Pittsburgh, big up to Pennsylvania, big up to San Antonio, Texas, to the both of us. We're gonna have a good time this evening. A lot to talk about, lots to experience, a lot of ramblings you will encounter, a lot of musings you will have from me as well. It's been a bit of a tumultuous week. They thought 2021 was gonna be the year we were gonna get over 2020. Whoa, my friend, what are we doing here, my friend? What are we doing? It's getting a little bit rambunctious. But tell folks what you're going to do for us tonight. What are you going to do? Tell them about the set you're going to do.
Ooh, great. So we're going to do 2 songs. One is We, which is out. And that is from the both of us. And we have a project coming out too with a lot of different people, with Benji, with Dan Sully on there. Oh my gosh. Brick. Oh my goodness. Yeah, very, very fun people. I'm so excited. That's called Divine Mistakes.
Divine Mistakes is the name of the project?
Yes.
And is that already out or it's coming out?
It's coming out.
Oh, do you have like a release date or anything like that?
February-ish.
February.
We're putting it out.
February-ish. February-ish 2021. That'll be available. Divine Mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I don't know how many of them were divine. I wouldn't necessarily be classified as such. So how many songs are going to be on that project you're going to put out? 6 tracks. So it's like an EP?
Yes.
Awesome. Divine Mistakes. And is it going to be a collaborative project in terms of focusing on trying to make sure you as an artist are going to be different artist collaboration? What's the emphasis behind this?
Right now there are no features on there. It's just my songwriting with a lot of different producers. Okay. Which has been really, really cool to work with different minds and still have my songwriting style in them.
Awesome. And what's your role in that? Are you pretty much laying down the tracks, or what's your role in this project?
Yeah, I'm produced on 4 of those tracks.
Okay.
And I'm also tracking Simone, her vocals, and mixing.
Awesome.
Maybe mastering it too, so yeah.
People don't understand the amount of work and effort that comes into putting a project into bringing it into fruition. Sometimes they take for granted because you see the final product because it's polished and whatnot. You think it's going to be perfect through and through, and it's like no struggle, no stress that comes to do it. But there's a lot of effort put in by artists that sometimes underappreciated, especially in the pandemic era. Support your local artists out there. This past week, speaking of Divine Mistakes, we have taken for granted that on January 5th, what happened in Georgia was a mobilization of voters to galvanize folks to take back the Senate for the Democrats. And as a reaction to that, or maybe not even reaction, already planned, actioned by Ronald McDonald, KKK Trump, we had the riots which were incited from the Save America March, told people to march in the Capitol. He had his allies, his goons, his legions go out there to run to the Capitol and literally try to kill Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence. And apparently, it's coming out now, Mike Pence's wife, his brother, and his kids were alleged, were actually in the Capitol. That is what is being alleged right now. And apparently, within 60 seconds to 90 seconds of reach, 70 feet, when the mob came up the stairs and you saw that one officer, I believe it was Officer Cobbs, who was backtracking and misdirected the crowd to go and follow him and go in the wrong direction to avoid going against and going attacking Mike Pence. They were coming for him. Now you could say he was in death's door. Some people might allege that we tried to take it to the umpteen, but he was definitely in peril, as were his family supposedly. And this is what is my problem with the situation. I don't know if what has been your reaction to this? Have you had feeling any type of way about that? You don't have to respond if you don't want to.
I mean, feel a whole lot of ways. I'm not really surprised though. It's probably not one of the emotions, but definitely appalled. It's gross.
Let your remark. If you don't want to, I'll summarize for you if you want to.
Oh yeah, I agree with this.
See, this has been a time for me for making connections. Because it became apparent to me that we need to connect the dots. For example, we have to look at Michigan as a prime example. A couple months ago, we had people in the state capitol with guns, yelling in police officers' face, and we became desensitized. We thought nothing of it. A couple of months ago, we saw Governor Whitmer being death threats. People were literally tracking her movements, going to her house, figuring out her route, to figure out the best way to attack her, just hogtie her, bring her in as a prisoner, and put her by trial, and then potentially execute her. Federal and state charges brought up like 8 to 10 individuals literally conducting this action. We became desensitized to that. Things have been taken to the end. We become so desensitized because I think when we get to that point, we have to make a decision of our personal good versus the country's good. Sometimes when it becomes to things related to matters that impact black and brown communities, that goes out the door. We are selfish and self-righteous, and our self-serving needs get fed rather than the country's need. For example, look at Michigan, we look at Flint, we find out that same recent Governor Schneider and all his teams have charges against them because of Flint, Michigan, because what they were doing in Michigan was they were foregoing all the democratic elections and electing emergency managers for cities to make executive decisions. So it doesn't matter who they voted for in some towns, in some places. And usually in predominantly African-American communities, he was supplanting the democratic vote with emergency managers. And guess what, in Flint? He elected emergency managers to decide the management of water and waste. And they decided that instead of getting water from Lake Michigan, that they would get it from the local river, from the Flint River, which was more corrosive to the pipes. And even when people brought it to the attention of the emergency managers, how dangerous it was. They brought bottles of their water, muddied water that they were bathing their children in, that they were cooking their food in because they had no choice. They had no water. And we became numb to it. And yet again, we're being asked to become numb to it because the Capitol was taken over by these individuals, these rioters, these zealots, these neo-Nazis. And some say, oh, it was just some of them. It was just a small percentage. But in reality, this has been fomenting for some time. Again, we have become numb to it because the language and engagement has been so vile and so vitriolic that we can't help but turn it down. We can't help to change the channel. And you know what? Sometimes, and because of our historical trends, we've said, maybe they deserved it. Maybe Jacob Blake deserved to get shot. Maybe Philando Castile deserved to have his daughter in the background and his wife and partner on the side and get shot by that cop. Maybe he did something wrong. Maybe Eric Gardner shouldn't have been on that street selling those loose cigarettes. Maybe that's what should happen. We become numb to it. We justify in our heads because we get fed these things, and we don't have like we had eyes on the prize like we did in the past. I remember watching Eyes on the Prize as a child and being moved by that and thinking, wow, man, we killed Martin Luther King and everything got good. That's great. I'm glad we got over that. But the reality is in our heads, it wasn't about the hoses. That wasn't the major thing he was fighting for and fighting against. They were fighting about the ability to vote, the ability to get equal pay, equal access to health care. Those are the things that matter to be able to mobilize in society. And again, by making those connections to see myself, when we see this now, this is America. And I'm so grateful to Representative Lankford of Oklahoma, who recently apologized as senator. He said he didn't realize what he was doing. He didn't realize that when he was taking his stance and endorsing these false, felonious statements regarding the election fraud, that what he was actually trying to do was marginalize black and brown vote. Because he made the connection. He understood that he was being swept into an undercurrent of the worst of us all. And in that moment, I said, this is a divine intervention for us. This is an opportunity for us to see that mistake that was made as a country. But we can't sweep it under the rug. We have to acknowledge it in order to be able to move forward. Anytime you do something wrong, you got to acknowledge it. Lady in the front.
Yeah. I know.
No, not you, the girl in the front.
Yeah, oh my gosh. No, but what you were saying about being numb, and I was like, I kind of was like taken aback. I was like, oh, but it you know, it's real life. If you're scrolling, you see everything. Not everything, like the murder of African American people, brown people all around, and it's hard. I don't know, like numb kind of isn't like the right word for me. Like when you were saying numb, I was like, I understand that, but it was like kind of like a bruise, like a really hard bruise that you kind of forget about. I don't know, and it's like still painful and still there, but you kind of like don't touch it. You know what I mean? And so that's how I was kind of feeling. But I don't know, I just wanted to say that.
No, for me, I think it's more like it's like a -6 or a -8. What I mean by that is like everyone's like at a 0. Let's say a baby is walking and then they trip and they get hurt. Now they say, oh, the poor little baby, that's a 0. Oh, the baby's so sick, the baby's so. It's like, okay, that's a 0. I think it takes, for me, a 0 if somebody gets shot, stabbed, and killed. So it's got to be a -8 or a -6 for me to feel it. That's the only way I can describe it. Sometimes it's such atrocious things happen, and I don't even, that emotion doesn't get, I'm like, I buried it so hard because I've seen it, felt it so many times, it doesn't even really like register. I've disconnected myself from it. So as I was at work and people were like, oh my gosh, my coworkers and people around me were saying things like, oh my God, can you imagine if those people were black and brown and were protesting, would have got killed? And I was like, these white people saying this? What's going on? This is real right now? They're having a woke moment here? What's going on?
A woke moment.
So, somebody get these people a cookie.
Oh my God, cookie.
I was just like, a woke cookie.
No, let them speak about it. Let them talk about it. I think that's the first step in us unnumbing ourselves. This is really important for us to be viscerally, maybe not angry, but present. And
to feel it and to make that connection. You know what I mean? To feel and to connect to the moment. Because this is not something, again, to sweep under the rug. This is something we need to acknowledge in order to be able to move past. And we can't just say that it didn't happen. Can't just say it's time for unity. It's unity after we acknowledge the situation. And that same divine intervention as we are today, we are grateful now to have Simone as well as Dan Sully in the backdrop. They're going to do something live for us to perform tracks off of their new project coming up, one that's already out and available, and one that's coming out very, very soon. WRFU on 104.5 FM. Name of the first track you're going to do for us?
We.
Ooh, I told you I talk a lot of trash, man. I try to tell people. I gave the legal disclaimer. I gave
We're buckled in.
All right, I'm going to slide my ugly face to the side.
Oh my God, no.
And as far as this project now, what are the platforms that people can, if they wanted to find out more information about you and connect with you, how do they do that?
Ooh, well, my Instagram is Simone Joy Jones. What is your Instagram?
Dan Sully Beats.
Yes.
Simone
and
Joy Jones.
it'll be ready on all streaming platforms. We is already out on all streaming platforms. So
Simone Joy Jones.
Yes.
SimoneJoyJones. SimoneJoyJones.
S exclamation point MONE is my artist.
S exclamation. That's right, for her artist name. But that's not the Instagram handle though.
No.
I was like, oh my gosh. And then Dan Sully Beats is the handle to the right, left on the screen, which is DANSULLYBEATS.
Here we go. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you.
I never thought I'd feel like this, because it feels so real, and ain't nobody make me feel like how you make me feel. I know it felt like something, 'cause you felt it too. At the same time, no, I don't know the words, but I don't wanna say goodbye. Bye. So hello, for the rest of my. So hello. Yeah, so how about we take over the galaxy? And how about we fly out to eternity?
Give a soul clap, give a digital hand, give a text message, give a like, give a +1, give all that jazz, man. Give all that jazz. Simone on the backdrop, killing it, man. Dan Sully producing, mix mastering in the backdrop. I'm loving it. Having a fantastic.
Yes.
What was the motivation behind the production of that song? What was like the creative process you went through to produce that track?
Oh my goodness. So this song was it was a freestyle, which is like the only case for, especially the project coming out, has kind of been like puzzle pieces where some things worked, some of them took weeks, some of them took a couple days. But this one was just quick and easy. I kind of just like breathed, and we Dan had the hook. How about we take over the galaxy, fly over eternity, fly out to eternity, and that he just had that low, and I was like, all right, and I just went straight through, and it was just like a breath of fresh air. Felt good.
It was like only the second time we had ever like linked up and made music together too, and the energy was just like so great. So just we had I made the hook, had the beat ready, and then Simone just one take freestyle, and that was the song basically. Yeah,
normally I don't do that, but we're like, this kind of sounds good.
Came out all right. I think the folks out there, give it a +1, folks. Give it a +1 out there, folks. Folks may want to know more about you as an artist. What are your influences? What are the artists that you kind of are shaped by, or influences that you have?
Oh, wow. We were talking about this earlier. Love Rakim, love Whitney Houston, love Beyonce, love Lauryn Hill. What about you?
Childish Gambino is definitely one of my
biggest
influences ever.
Absolutely.
Just his whole artistry.
For sure. His catalog is very interesting. Yeah. Even the Tamia, was it the Tamia remix he does, or the acoustic in that one set he does?
Oh yeah. He did a live cover of one of Tamia's songs.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was pretty excellent as well. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Love artists with something to say. Love artists that are lyrically like really, really cool and clever. And then, just voices like Whitney or,
in a room full of echoes, in a world full of echoes and echo chambers, she was an original voice, an original, songbird that unmatched, I would say, in her capabilities and what she offered as well. Because some of those songs, man, there was like, if you really think about the movie Bodyguard, I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh, yep.
Bodyguard.
The one with Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah, that's probably like his last good movie ever. You know what I mean? Before he just like, what happened to Kevin? Like Kevin Costner was like, what are you doing, bro? But not Kevin Hart, Kevin Costner.
Okay,
totally different guy.
Yeah, at first I was like, what movie were we talking about? There we go.
But that movie was really, that song just carried. I've never seen a song carry a whole movie. I mean, one could say something about the Celine Dion and Titanic to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I think to a certain extent, everyone just was like hoping Jack would come back from the water. To a certain extent. Like,
no, he was gone. It was cold.
Oh, he was gone. He was definitely gone. There's no way he's coming back from that one. But she could have saved him some space for the record.
Right.
I
would have tried a little bit.
You know what I mean? She's like, all right. I guess I'll be the one on the raft.
Taking turns.
So name some of the people again that you're working with on this project coming out. Divine Interventions.
Ooh, Divine Mistakes.
Divine Mistakes, my apologies.
Yes, no, it's okay. Benji, upcoming Pittsburgh legend, Dan Sully, Brick, or Super Duper Brick. I met him in LA, incredible mind. We have some of what I love about this upcoming project too is the musicality of it. Okay. So really cool musicians like Cody. Oh my God, Cody House.
Got the vid.
Got the vid. No, nobody has the vid.
Featuring the vid.
Cody House is on guitar. Yes, Alex Hines. Yes, all incredible. All incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people on this.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I'm trying not to name because I don't want to forget anybody.
It's always good to acknowledge all the artists to be able to, recognize all the folks who contributed. Because again, sometimes, like I remember back in the day when you would open an album or a CD and you get like the fold of all the people who work on each track has like umpteen names. Like really?
Right.
It's like really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So can you also talk about some of the like, is there a theme for the Divine Mistakes? Is there like a thing you're going?
Divine Mistakes. I called it Divine Mistakes because it's. I was really fascinated about things that are like seemingly not the right way to go, or you think, no, I shouldn't have done that. But it brought you to a new place that you're like, oh, thank God I'm here. And so all these songs are inspired by moments. I write in stories. I'm an actor also, so love storytelling. So in my music is just the unfolding of all the bad mistakes that I've had. But so, I'm excited to show my mom about these.
Mama, did your mother know about this?
No, it's not that bad. It's fine.
I was being facetious, but you took it there. You took it there.
Oh
There's a monkey on your shoulder. I didn't want to say nothing about it. Knock him off. Oh, he's gone. See, 2021. This coming year, you said in February, you think that project will be released.
Yes.
But We right now is available for people to listen to.
Yes.
Okay. The name of the second song you're going to do for us?
Stay the Night, produced by Benji. We have a really cool acoustic arrangement done by Dan Sully.
Okay, so this is original. So this is even on the final project coming out. Is this going to be something? Or it's going to be it's going to be slightly different, you think, on the actual final?
Oh yeah, it's going to be really different. But I love when the live version is completely different from the actual version.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a fun. You're going to hear. It won't be the same thing.
There you go, folks. WRFU people on 104.5 FM. I want to say a big shout out to DJ BJ Clark, who has the After Work Drive, 5 to 7 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Shout out to everyone from WRFU, UCMC family. And this is me getting off the screen. Name of the song again is?
Stay the Night.
Stay the Night. And tell them, folks, again, your social media that give them
Yes.
give them all
My
that.
name is Simone. My Instagram is Simone Joy Jones. SIMONE JOYJONES.
My name is Dan Sully. Instagram Dan Sully Beats. Let's get to it.
Let's get into it. Had to get it in for the one time. Became 2 or 3. Then I come through to say hi. Then you said to me, just stay the night. Stay the night. Come on. I'm playing mind games and I'm betting it all. Passing time together. Won't say, so the deeper we fall into whatever this is, or it ain't. Whatever you say, the mess that we made. You know that I can't. Stay the night, babe. Stay the night, babe. Stay, babe. Stay the night, oh, stay, babe. Stay the night, babe. Stay the night, stay the night. I'm going home. This was fun, I'll be going back and forth. This won't last. Making me a liar, said I won't come back. My bad. If I stay, will you make me, break me, take me, make me laugh? Say what's on your mind, boy. Tell me if you want me. Not sure this is better than us being lonely, but I'll stay the night. Just one more time. Ooh, stay the night, babe. Stay the night, babe. Stay, babe. Stay the night, oh, stay the night, babe. Stay the night. Repeat our mistakes, I'm down. I wouldn't change a thing, I'm proud. But but laying praying next to you was so damn right. And not forever, but at least we got to just stay. And just stay. Oh, stay the night, stay all night. Oh, babe, stay the night, babe, stay the night, stay, babe, stay the night, stay the night. Oh, please, stay the night, stay, oh, please.
Y'all better out there be giving all kinds of likes. I'm trying to go through all the social media people are going out there.
Go.
Let me see if I can pull up some of the names.
Sweating.
Shout out. I told you it was going to get hot.
I know. I was about to wear my jacket too. Thank you for saving me.
I was like, man, that is not the move.
No.
That is not the move right there. Let me see some of the people I can acknowledge. What's up to Marisa? What's up to Elizabeth? What's up to James? Cantwell's out there. What up
Let's
to
go.
so many
Hey.
folks out there. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Chris Smith. Shout out to Juan Carlos who's out there tuning in. Oh man, there's too many folks out there. Oh Jesus. Beautiful voice and great musical accompaniment. Texas. Oh, somebody from Texas. Shout out to-
Texas, let's go.
to where exactly, I'm not sure. Shout out to my Uncle Pinky as well, Pedro out there. So shout out to all the family out there, anyone who's tuning in. It's usually just my mom, so this is actually pretty good. My mom plus
Same.
plus a few, so it's awesome.
That's all you need.
It is. That's, I don't need anything in this world. Just a little phone call. My mom, my grandmother, that's filled me up. You know what I'm saying? That'll satiate me for the week. Folks, the project coming out, Divine Mistakes, coming out in February, going to be available on all platforms for people to scour and to sort of follow and to listen to more about you. Tell them the social media handle as well again.
Ooh, social media handle SimoneJoyJones on Instagram.
Dan Sully Beats, all one word on Instagram, Twitter.
Yep.
All right, folks. Divine Mistakes, Simone out here, S apostrophe. So exclamation, exclamation, S exclamation, M-O-N-E, S exclamation, M-O-N-E. I did all that spelling out.
Right?
The punctuation got me.
It looks pretty. Spelling it is a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I was like, oh, yeah. And Dan Sully Beats in the backdrop, DANSULLYBEATS. Why don't you guys do something for me? Can you just play whatever, and just him? I mean,
Yeah,
let's
you
do
want
something.
us
Just do one. Just play whatever. Another installation of the show, broadcasting live for us. Another sultry evening with sounds and reflection from local artists. Fresh music for you to partake, socially distanced, and just the right pH. The temperature's a little warmer. Salivary glands are wet. And the light is glistening and glimmering. We're not perspiring, we're glistening. And if you're listening close, we are just quietly roasting under the lights, a bead of sweat. The week has been so challenging for us all, and I really do hope you take the time to take inventory on what matters to you. You gotta be happy first, folks. You gotta be happy with yourself and the direction that you're moving in. Don't look for happiness in someone else. Happiness is within you.